Hi, I'm a 24F who's been saving up since I was 16 for one thing, my dream postgraduate program abroad. Growing up, I worked part-time jobs, skipped unnecessary spending, and even tutored kids in my neighborhood to build that savings account. I wasn't just saving money, I was building a future I could be proud of. To backtrack a bit, my parents divorced when I was 14 after my dad had an affair. It wasn't just some fleeting mistake. He left my mom for Sandra, who's now 34. Sandra has always given off a vibe that she's all about appearances, flashy jewelry, designer bags, constant Instagram posts about manifesting her dream life. I can't say we've ever clicked, but she and my dad seemed happy, so I mostly kept my distance. When I opened my savings account at 16, my dad had to co-sign because I was still a minor. He didn't contribute a dime to the account, it was all my hard-earned money. But the arrangement stayed even after I turned 18, because I didn't think to update it. I trusted him, despite our rocky relationship. He's my dad, after all. Fast forward to a few months ago, I got the acceptance letter of my dreams. A top-tier university abroad had offered me a spot in their prestigious program. I was over the moon, and so was my mom. She's been my rock since the divorce, always cheering me on and supporting me. My dad gave me a congratulatory nod and quickly shifted the conversation to how busy he'd been helping Sandra open her new boutique. Typical. Things started unraveling when I tried to pay the deposit for my program. I logged into my bank account, only to see a number that didn't make sense. My balance wasn't just low, it was nearly wiped out. Almost $30,000 gone. I thought it was some kind of mistake or fraud. I called the bank immediately, panicking, but what they told me knocked the wind out of me. The transactions were all legal and authorized by my dad, the co-signer on the account. When I confronted him, he didn't even try to deny it. He said he borrowed the money to help Sandra launch her boutique, promising to pay it back someday. Someday? This wasn't some spare cash lying around. It was my future, my years of sacrifices, my ticket to a better life. He brushed it off like it was no big deal, acting like I was overreacting. Sandra's reaction was worse. She had the nerve to tell me it was family money and that I was too young to need it anyway. She actually smirked as she said it, like I should be grateful she even bothered to explain herself. I didn't even have words. All I knew was that I couldn't let this slide. My mom, of course, was livid. She offered to loan me as much as she could, but it wasn't nearly enough to cover everything. Legal action crossed my mind, but I quickly realized that fighting my dad in court would cost me more money and time than I had. Plus, with him technically having co-signing rights, it would be a murky battle. I felt stuck, until I noticed something about Sandra that sparked an idea. Sandra is obsessed with her boutique and her image. She's constantly posting online about her entrepreneurial journey, showcasing overpriced items and giving motivational talks about building a brand. It's like she lives for the attention. And that's when it hit me, if they thought they could take my money and get away with it, they were sorely mistaken. If legal action wasn't an option, I'd find another way to make them pay. I started digging into Sandra's business. Late nights spent scrolling through her social media, searching public records, and reading between the lines of her posts revealed cracks in her perfect facade. Permits? Questionable. Product sources? Let's just say they didn't seem above board. I took notes on everything. The more I uncovered, the more determined I became. At the same time, I looped in two of my best friends. One of them works in social media marketing, and the other is a tech genius who loves uncovering loopholes. When I explained what happened, they didn't hesitate to join in. We started brainstorming a plan, not just to expose Sandra's shady dealings, but to hit her where it hurt most, her boutique's reputation. As I gathered intel and crafted my strategy, I could feel my resolve